Hello, everyone.
I'm Jesse.
I'm Joey.
I'm JJ.
I'm Jam.
I'm Jack.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Jamie, and welcome to It's Time
Family
Matters.
Matters.
Alright, so today we're gonna be discussing the movie Sound of Freedom. We watched it yesterday with the entire family.
In theaters.
Yeah, in cinema because we have been waiting for it to be shown here in the Philippines. And we had Tita Belen and Lola Linda join us. So, okay, what is Sound of Freedom? It's a movie about child trafficking. And it's a true story by, who's that again? Tim Ballard, an ex-CIA agent. And they were doing rescuing of the children who were trafficked. However, because of bureaucracies, it was really hard for them to continue on the mission. But he was very persistent and passionate about what he was doing. He really wanted to help these children, and so he did it on his own. Of course, later on, the police from both the U.S. and the Colombian government helped him, and they were able to rescue a lot of trafficked children and put pedophiles in prison. Right. So, guys. Were there any exciting or funny moments in the movie that you enjoyed? Can you share some of your favorite scenes?
My favorite scenes. Okay, my most favorite scene is when they rescue what do you call it? Near the end, where they rescued the last girl that wasn't part of the original group.
And when they went into the jungle.
Yeah,
Yes,
that was.
girl, Rocio.
So that's your favorite one. Why?
Because it ended happily.
Yay.
It was so exciting and at the same time very like I wanted to fast forward the movie like because I didn't want. What do you call that?
Suspense.
Get your anxious. Suspenseful, yes.
Yes.
Okay, for me, the funniest or most exciting part of the movie, I think that would be the part where he not double crossed. He tricked the first pedophile to think he was one of them,
Oh, yeah.
and then he
Oh,
arrested
yeah.
him.
Yeah.
And that was hilarious. Like, you got what you deserve.
Yeah.
We actually thought that he took him out into the lobby to give him coffee, but it turns out it's really
Just part
part
of
of the
Yeah.
prison. It's really part of the prison in order to make them feel comfortable about talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The most exciting part about that is this movie was that part where they build a fake island to lure in the
The other traffickers.
the traffickers and the children, and then the police surrounded it and stopped all the traffickers.
Oh,
They
yeah.
captured everyone. That was
Okay.
cool, and now the children were free and they were very happy.
My
I like
favorite
that part.
part was when Tim Ballard went to his friend slash connection, who was a billionaire
Yeah.
or billionaire that chimed in his wealth to help him with this mission.
Yes.
Yeah, for me it would be it really would be in the second and third act where they build a fake resort in order to capture them. That was really it was interesting seeing the logistics being put into that because they had to pull in a lot of people. They had to pull in they had to pull in a billionaire in order to fund it, and then they also had to round up the police with boats to execute the mission as well. Then they also had to make sure that everything goes smoothly, so that none of the children were harmed, and then everyone was going to be arrested immediately. So that was fun to see. And then in the end, when Tim Ballard had to go on alone into the jungle and into the rebel encampment to get back Rocio, the missing girl. It was very weird seeing. It was very suspenseful.
Yeah.
Seeing him going alone without any protection. He could be shot at any moment, but he was able to get her and then extract her very quickly and very very
Okay,
professionally.
All right. Were there any challenging or sad parts in the movie? How did the characters overcome those challenges?
Oh well.
Sad parts
Sad
and
part.
how did they overcome
Well, the
that?
sad part was when he noticed that the girl, what's her name, Rocio, wasn't
not
part of the
first.
The group
ver-
that
the
they were-
boats?
So
yeah,
there
the
was
boats.
there was a little girl who was they had a resort. They shipped the children there. There were 56 of them,
No,
but
50.
Rocio, the little girl,
The
wasn't
bro-
there.
Yeah, the sister of the first boy he saved
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
not there.
Yeah, was not there. So he, well, after that he
Went
he,
lengths in
yeah, he
order to
went
rescue
to yeah, he
her.
went to a jungle to save her.
To save her, very
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
the end.
Okay, for me, I think a sad part of the movie was when the brother and sister were separated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because they were separated, and then now they had to be on their own, and they were on their own for like a long time.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
then eventually they were rescued, and that makes me feel happy.
Yeah.
Yay. Yeah.
Well, I would say the challenging sad part would be same for Jamie, where Rocio wasn't rescued. She was still. I mean, she was shipped somewhere else.
Yeah.
She was shipped to a private village, right?
Not private village. It's,
The rebels.
It's a
The
The
rebel
rebels,
encampment.
which made it very difficult for him to get in there. They had to disguise themselves as doctors so that they could get in. It was very challenging for him because it was heavily guarded, and it was real hard to get her out. But he eventually did, and that was cool.
The most challenging part that Tim faced was probably the bureaucracy that he
Yeah.
that the mission to save, was it both the boy and the girl?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that it was canceled,
Right.
and he had to figure out how to do the mission on his own.
Yeah.
For me, it would. For me, what I thought was sad was the girls on the girls that were trapped on. They were trapped on a boat, and they really couldn't do anything. They were hopeless against the situation. And then they are being handled by big guys who just shoved them into vans. All they could do, all they can do to comfort themselves was to clap and play a beat to themselves, to just make sure that everything is going to be okay. It's really sad seeing those girls have to get through that situation of being alone, of being someone's captive. They're so young and so vulnerable. They don't know what to do. They're in enemy territory.
Yeah.
Strangers are all around, and all they can do is just clap.
And they're helpless.
Yeah, they're helpless. All they do is just clap their hands to a beat and then sing songs, and
Right.
that's pretty much it. So
Yeah.
it's
How
very
about
sad
Eddie?
seeing that.
Yeah, when he,
Well, the sad part is that it was.
it's a true story.
Yep.
The sad part is that it is a true story.
Yeah, and it's about helpless children perpetrated by adults, by people, by men
Rich.
who are supposed to be the one protecting the
Little
kids, the
Yeah.
little ones.
Yeah.
You got to
It's
read.
really sad
Yeah.
and it's really horrendous. It's I don't know. what word-
Unthinkable. Yeah.
Yeah, what word to describe those kinds of evil, demonic acts,
Thinking. Yes.
demonic
So
practices.
well, yeah, that's true. The sad part is that it is a true story. It's not just like a movie based on a book. It's a real story, and the first part of the movie, they showed real kidnappings of kids, and these are heartless adults who are supposed to like really take care of the kids. So that's one. The next one was him really wanting to save. So he went to his boss and asked, because he's from the U.S., but the rescuing would be in another part in Mexico
Colombia.
and Colombia,
Yeah.
right? And of course, these are two governments, so there are rules, policies that they need to abide. So they just thought of a way for him to like really go there. So they thought of like training seminar or something,
Yeah, they had
and
to
he was
pull off
given only how much?
10 grand.
$10,000 to do his mission. And then when he was able to do that, he wanted to save another girl because he was able to save the boy, but then he wanted to save the sister of the boy that he saved, and the government wasn't really helping him, and that's why he had
Yeah.
to decide. And it's a really big decision for a family guy because he has a lot of children, right? It was a big decision for him to resign. and do this mission on his own. And the wife had to support him with that mission. And even for the wife, I felt bad because this is the dad. And the dad would be away and would be doing
Risking
a
his
very
life.
risky
Yes.
mission. And she, there's no
Comfort.
security that he would be coming back. The other thing was when he's really very talented, right? And he thought of a lot of ways for them to be able to save more kids. And the strategy was to create a posh resort
For the rich.
for the rich, for an exclusive membership for only the rich, where there would be sex slaves 24/7. So that's really so sad because, and this is already happening. This has been going on for years. It's all over the world, and they just wanted to put one up there in Colombia because there wasn't a hotel like that in Colombia, and they were able to think of that. And because of that strategy, they were able to rescue 54 children.
56.
But then, oh my God, I mean, the fact that it would have happened, right? It was really saddening that there were a lot of rich people who would do such thing. Anyways, the next question. How did the characters in the movie work together to solve the problem or make a positive impact into the world?
Millionaire.
How did the characters like Tim Ballard and the police,
Yeah,
how did they
honestly-
get together?
I guess-
It's actually more of it's a calling. It's not, they went
Yes.
above and beyond their calling. Like they could have said, "Nah, that's not within our."
I like the part when there was this guy that he partnered with,
Vampiro.
the
Vampiro.
Vampiro, yes, the Vampiro character. I loved him because he used to be that guy who exploited kids.
He
And
didn't
then,
even
No, he didn't exploit kids. He run a drug trafficking cartel.
Still.
So he was
No,
drugs.
it was-
that was
It
still
was drugs.
exploiting. No, because they
No,
were
it's
also
doing-
supplying women, right? To the visitors.
Did he say no?
No,
it
it
was
was
just
only
drugs.
drugs. It
drugs.
was just drugs.
The
Come
old,
on,
the
that's
old man,
all
but the old
the
guy,
Vampiro.
the old,
Yeah.
the chubby guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like Saul in the Bible. There was a time when he was using the prostitutes, right?
Yeah.
No.
JJ, when you're a drug lord, everything comes with it. That's
No,
why.
but there was a time.
But he didn't. He.
No, do you remember he said the reason why he changed was that when he had that lady
Yeah.
come over to him
He
and
thought, he
and
thought that he was 20,
25.
25, but
Yeah.
then he realized that woman was like
14.
14.
Yeah.
So that's the time he said, "Oh my
But yeah,
gosh,
so he
this
had
is so wrong."
prostitutes, but he did not deal in prostitution.
well, he's vampiro and he's
Yeah. So he realized.
it all
that.
comes with it. You know, when you have a resort like that, when you're dealing with drugs, it all comes with prostitutes and all, alright? But anyways, if that is not his main thing, but he was a drug dealer. But
That was
in
the
the
time he
in
was
the
changed.
movie, yes, he wanted to like kill himself because he realized how evil he was. And then he said, I think because he wanted to like really shoot himself, right? And
Yeah.
then he said, what did he say?
If there was
If
a
there
time
was
to
a-
ask
to ask
God if
if
he
there
was
was
real,
God,
yeah. If God
that was
real,
the time. That was the moment. And I
Yeah.
think he was changed by God because there was a miracle in his life.
Yeah.
And then from then on, he now would be helping to buy children and give them
second
new life.
freedom life.
Right.
I'm actually curious about that. Do you think that he pulled the trigger and it didn't go off?
Yeah. I think so because like if you are he was gonna kill himself already, right? If there's a God, if you're there, then prove it. So he probably pulled the trigger and he didn't go off. I don't know, but that was
Yeah,
the
but that was the moment where he
Yeah.
changed
he
his life
yes.
in order
But
to
he believed
save
God because that was his question, right?
Yeah.
He then believed in God at that point. Alright, so are there any moments or lines from the movie that you found memorable? what line?
You hear
No,
that? There's a line. You hear that? That's the sound of freedom.
What's the sound of freedom?
God's children are
Yeah.
Sound of
Yeah.
freedom
Yeah.
is the sound of
Children-
happiness.
No,
You
children
need-
being happy.
Yeah,
Yeah, children
just,
being happy.
just being children, honestly.
Yeah, that's the sound of freedom.
children
They're
are
happy, they're joyful, and they're free.
Yes. So that's also why the movie was called Sound of Freedom, because they were already able to rescue the children, and the children were
Were
just
singing.
singing and
Yeah.
just being kids.
You know, it's really funny because I thought the title was so mean because for the longest time, whenever someone hears the word freedom, they associate it with America. So when I watched the movie, I immediately thought of like jets coming from the sky and raining down bombs and stuff like that. And thought it was going to be like a John Wick movie where there's guns and they're shooting immediately. And
Nope.
then I realized that it probably couldn't be like that kind of America freedom like association. It turns
Mm.
out
Freedom.
it's just a guy who wants to be able to make wants to get kids to live a normal life and them having their freedom, having their innocence, and that's what freedom meant. Is children being able to live lives freely and having their childhood and being happy.
Yes.
Did the movie have any message or lesson that you think is important for children to learn?
We can be heroes. And there was a special message in the credits where the main actor, gave a special message saying that we can be heroes, we can help each other.
By
By spreading the message.
Yeah.
spreading the
spreading a
message.
message.
And what else?
And
Paying for the movie. Because
Yeah.
this was bought by Angel Studios. By the way, this movie is very controversial in the US and they were not being promoted. It was not being promoted by mass media and even the rich and the networks.
Which is weird.
So it was originally from Disney, bought by Disney, but it was shelved and was never really intended to be shown. So I think it was bought by a film and then again, so there were really a lot of problems and,
It got
and
stuck at the-
obstacles until Mel Gibson decided to like just really push with it, and a lot of people helped. And why do you think this was prevented from being shown when it's really an important message? It's rescuing children, right?
It's too realistic.
But
Honestly,
why do you think they
No,
were
the-
preventing people from watching it?
Because a lot of these rich people are pedophiles.
That's true.
Yeah,
Right.
fair enough.
Lots
Yes.
of those in the movie and the
Friends of
TV
friends.
industries are really
Yes.
the what you call this? They are the customers of this pedophile. So
Yeah, friends
the-
of
yeah,
Jeffrey
um,
Epstein.
the message of this movie is that there is a special place in hell for pedophiles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
There's a lot of like messages, good messages that we can get
Yeah.
from the movie.
Like, learn self-defense, kids.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's one.
And for the parents to be aware of their surroundings, for any dangers, because there are kidnappers that could just snatch your child away.
Yes.
Be very unexpectedly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And when you have a calling, and just don't give up because God will help you. Just like how Tim Ballard did the rescuing of the children. If you know that, oh well, another thing is God's children are
Or
not,
not for sale. Yeah, very
And
important
that's the
message.
reason why he really wanted to rescue all the kids. That's what he believes in. And also that if you have like a part of your family, like for example, my husband, he's into that kind of mission to just give support. If you give support and you pray, everything will just turn out okay.
Hmm.
Right. And lastly, would you recommend Sound of Freedom
Yes,
to
definitely.
every family?
Yes.
Yep.
yeah.
Why?
More awareness in the world.
Yeah,
Yes.
so the more people watch it,
Mm.
then less incidents will be happening.
No, not
Yeah.
just incidents. It's just
Yeah, I mean, when you're aware,
Because-
being
yes.
aware,
Yeah, because
having the compassion for these children,
Yeah.
donating when you can.
Yes.
it's something that resonates because for me, I've worked with charities
Yeah.
that there abuse kids who run away from their parents, and we live in a third world country, and it's easy for children to go missing,
There-
especially in places not developed and no one has heard about. There could be just one day there's like a few missing children and no one notices, and
Yeah.
it's really going to be hard for us in the Philippines to take care of that situation, similar to it how it's hard in South America as well. So I want everyone to know about this movie and to know about how trafficking works, and just overall be wary of who you entrust your children to, because that's something really that you should take into
And
consideration.
this is not being covered all the time by the media. You always hear about drugs and gun trafficking, right?
Yeah.
But now it happened that child trafficking now is the biggest multi-billion underground criminal activities now.
Yes.
Yes.
But you see, it's not usually covered in
Mass media.
mass media. So I think it's about time that it should be I don't know, brought to light how the
Yes.
devious effect of this.
Yeah, they say that, you know, for drugs can be sold once and be used once, but for a kid can be sold like 10 times a day. Can you imagine selling your children? And oh my
This is
gosh.
horrible.
And it happens even for real parents. They sell their kids. They don't care. So I think we all need to like really go back to our faith, why we have children, why we raise children. Go back to the root, the reason why you have a family in the first place. And there's also one thing. I remember the father, he was asking Tim Ballard because he already did his job. He was able to save the son, but then the daughter is still missing, the sister. And the father was asking him, if this was your own child, or there's like you have children, right? And there's an empty bed, and would you be able to sleep? Would you be able to stop? So I think that's what the characters did. I mean, he'd always ask the question: if this was your own child, what would you do? Of course, you'll never stop looking for that kid, finding that kid until she's rescued. So I think for us, even if they're not our children, we have to find ways to help. And one way is for us to encourage you to watch the movie because it has been long been prevented in showing in cinemas, and now that it's here in the Philippines, we all have, especially we are a Catholic country, no, 90% Christian. So we Christians need to be the first ones to watch the movie, encourage others to watch it as well, because this is a true story and it can happen to any one of us. All right.
So, thank you for watching. Please join us next time for another episode of It's Time
Family
Family
Matters.
Matters.
Thank you so much, guys, and see you again very soon.